Fixing to pull the intake off this engine. Pull the heads. This is real time. I guess I could have done a time lapse, whatever you call it. But anyway. I don't know what's going on here. Guess I'm getting some tools or something. There we go. Using a Milwaukee impact driver. It's for driving screws and stuff. It seems to work pretty good. You get them little old 3/8 or 1/4 inch adapters for sockets, and they say not to use that tool for it, but been doing pretty good for me so far. Anyway, I need to get them heads off. I got to get them looked at. Get the check the spring pressures on the valve springs. Check the valve seats, the run out, and they should be pretty good. But I haven't had any problem with the valve lash or nothing. But I just want to get them prepped because I'm going to use these heads on that 502. Here, I'm taking the linkage off. My goal with this car is to run 4/8s or 4/9s on the street. That's what my goal is, and I think I'm gonna come up with a new name for this car. I've been watching David Vizard and Unity Motorsports or whatever, and Uncle Tony's Garage. They had a little controversy over the Mission Impossible 318, so they're not using that name anymore. So I think I'm fixing to call this project here Mission Impossible Foxbody, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be impossible to run a 4.9 on the street. But I run with some grudge racers pretty close to it with this engine here with the F2. The dang thing keeps blowing the head gaskets. We fixing it. I don't know which head gasket's blowing. I can't get a good reading on the spark plug. I know it's just filling the cooling system up with excessive pressure. It'll if I don't run that overflow hose into a 1 gallon bucket, it'll blow antifreeze everywhere. I'm using a vacuum cleaner to clean all the dirt and stuff off best I can. That thing was full of spider webs. Had a snake skin on the engine. But to put that tunnel ram on, I was gonna try that tunnel ram, but it didn't work out for me. The head gasket's too far gone. I can't turn the timing up and run this thing. I need to turn that timing up so it'll idle with that big cam and all, and with that tunnel ram and all, it needs all the time it needs to get. And if I turn the timing up and get up, head gasket starts leaking into the combustion starts leaking into the cooling system. So, well, I got a set of I forget how much I paid for the rods in there. It's got the Scat 18 rods that I worked on. I don't want to mess them up. Yeah, I got too much money in them rods there. You know, they hard to use if you bend them. I like that little impact driver. Probably need to go get me a 3/8 drive, one that's set up for that kind of abuse. using a magnet to get them out. Real convenient there. Had this car since let's say 2010. I tried to buy it with the original, well, it wasn't the original engine. This was a 4-cylinder car. When I was just got out of high school or whatever, the neighbors had this car, and they blowed the engine up in it and everything, set it up. And a buddy of mine bought it, or well, a friend of the family's. He bought the car, and they put a 302 in it at first, and the little 302, I forget now what it run, but it right there in front of his house and all, it would pull the front wheels about a couple inches, and it was pretty quick for what it was, and he couldn't leave well enough alone. He had I forget now, Chris Craft or one of them Ford shops there in back in Arkansas. It wasn't Jim Kuntz and Craft, but the Craft guy, he went in business for himself, and my buddy had him build a short block, and they put a set of AFR heads on this thing, and I don't know if he put a solid roller in them. I can't remember. May have been a solid roller, but he couldn't get that thing to hook up. He had left the suspension was completely stock. The stock lower upper control arms on the back was stock. Front end, it had the original cross member, all that heavy stuff there and everything, and I think he tried to put some Lakewood traction bars on it, and I mean it. Well, it wouldn't hook up with nitrous, and I don't know. It just, the motor wasn't right. Something wasn't right. Well, the main thing, he wouldn't leave it alone. He kept working on it. He just he'd take that thing to the track, and instead of doing one change at a time, he would like do 4 or 5, I just, and everything, and but he hit that nitrous on there, and it just got all over the road and all. So I guess he got tired of it. Well, he butted the rings on it. He had one of them competition dampers on this thing, and anyway, there I am I got that intake glue with that ultra black. That stuff's hard to break the seal on that intake. Couldn't find my wedges, so I'm trying to use this here pry bar, and it's too blunt, so I had to use that there and get rough with it. That worked out pretty good. Don't use a screwdriver or whatever. You'll gouge your intake. use something real wide. Like I said, I usually have a wedge. A wooden wedge would be the best thing. But anyway, but yeah, like I said, my buddy had that. He had that 410 stroker Ford, small block Ford with them AFR heads, and that motor had a lot of potential. And I tried to buy the car with that engine, and he wanted way too much for that motor. It was a stop block, and he accused that craft. Here I am trying to pull this intake off. I didn't take the fuel pressure line off. Uh-oh. Dang it. Gotta go get a crisp wrench for that. Anyway, so we couldn't work out a deal on that car. So I bought it, and everybody's wanting to know what are you gonna do with that? I had a bunch of Dodges that I used to race, and at that time I couldn't get them Dodges competitive. Them everybody with them LSs, them nitrous LSs was after they got their ducks in a row, it was over with. So I sold all that Dodge stuff off, and kind of wish I hadn't, but anyway, I did. And went and bought this body. There's like my buddy's friend, brother. They're blue over. They bleed blue. They don't like Chevrolet. They don't like Dodge. It's strictly Ford. I mean, they are Ford fanatics. And his brother told us that he gonna put a small block Chrysler in it and all. And they tripped out when I put that 468 in it. Everybody tripped out. You know, my friends are saying, man, you'll never get that thing to hook up. It'll never work. And anyway, I'm starting to believe them there. But I kept playing with it, kept messing with it and all. And the first thing I'd done when I put that 468 in there, I put a AFCO K member in it, put some Team Z control arms, and them struts that you seen earlier in the Connex, run them, put them struts on, and worked on that thing. I put some UPR upper and lower on the back, single adjustable. Kept working on it, and run some drag radials, run that thing on the street, and starting to get a little bit competitive there. It was well, look at that good looking mug there. Anyway, but I struggled with that thing for a while with that 468. I think the 468 had a hydraulic roller. I was running them 049 heads, dual plane Performer RPM intake, and anyway, I just finally got it where I could do something with it, and being pretty competitive with it and all. And they started bringing them turbo LSs out there, put me on a trailer. Notice I don't have any stud girdle on this motor. I just turned this engine here to 7,200 RPM was the max RPM, and I had to them silver rocker arms that you see. Them are they're Harlan Sharp, I got them from Straub Technology. The intake has got a different rocker arm geometry on the intakes. The geometry is a lot better with those. They're either shorter or longer. I don't know what he done to them, but anyway, they were just a lot better. And then the exhaust they're just regular. But the other Harlan Sharp I had about, oh man, I had over 700 passes on them, and they finally the bearings went out on a couple of them. I noticed when I was running my valve lash, it's a little bit loose. Had me worried there for a little bit. I thought the lifter was going away, but I looked up in there. It was a little bit of metal up top, and took them rocker arms off, and the bearings was going away on them. So rather than send them in and have them rebuilt or whatever, I just went and got a brand new set, because them aluminum rocker arms, they don't last very long with them high spring pressures. I'm running 830 to 850 over the nose. That's a lot of spring pressure. But that's one thing that keeps that valve train alive. It keeps them valves from bouncing, from floating, or anyway, going back to that 468, they come out there for them turbo cars, and that nitrous on that 468 wouldn't run with them. I mean, it run with them a little bit, but when they had their ducks in a row, it wouldn't run with them turbos. Now, it would run, like I said, it would run with the nitrous LSs. I would run all that thing would eat their lunch with that nitrous. But anyway, so I bought me a B&M blower. I put that B&M blower on them 049 heads, and it got it a little closer with them. It didn't get the job done. Let's put it that way. So like I said, I was running that hydraulic roller, and had I went to a solid roller where I could get the turn that thing up to about 70, up to 7,000 RPM, everything, I might have would have had a chance with that 468. So I bought these heads that you see on this car now. I bought them heads. Them are 312cc race right heads. They're just supposed to be for stop bolt on their 26-degree valves and all. And I put them on that 468 and put a B&M blower. Took that blower off them 049 heads and put on these heads, and that stepped it up there. But I was still RPM limited because of them weak hydraulic springs. They didn't have enough pressure. So rather than put a solid roller on that 468, I found this 502 block, and I was like, I'll just build me a stroker, run nitrous on the stroker, and that didn't work. I had put a solid roller cam in it. The cam that I'm fixing using, that 502, I showed you in a previous recent video. I run that was a nitrous cam for this engine here, and anyway, it just them turbo LSs and them S10s and whatnot, and the Foxbodies and all was quick, very quick, and this car, it had a traction problem. I could once I got to the 330, I could run them down, but I just didn't have enough real estate there. So that's when I bought that F2. I was like, well, we'll try that right there. And I think that the main problem with this car is I'm running I got Team Z rear end and all. It just I need a little bit more adjustability, I believe. Like I said, I wind up having I built that butt hurt box, and that works, and all that ballast and stuff back there, and everything. I get that fixed the traction problem, but that's just it just added weight. The butt hurt box didn't add the weight, but it got me some better traction, so I could finally turn my timing and start turning the boost up and stuff. Well, when I did that right there, this engine that that you see right now, it just started lifting the heads. You know, I mean, I got studs, I got Cometic gaskets and everything. It's just that's why I got that big end block. I'm fixing to put these heads on that big end block, fixing to cut receiver grooves in this thing, and probably gonna be a little bit RPM limited on here. I should be able to turn 7,500 with these heads, and that'll make a big difference. Plus, I can turn up the my ignition timing and run a little bit more boost now. It's running 12 to 14 pounds of boost on this combo here because of the head gasket, and if I can run 14 to maybe 16 and all, it should do a lot better. Anyway, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I think I'm trying to turn the engine over. We still got spark plugs in one side, or thing's got a lot of compression. I'm running a yeah, I didn't pull the spark plugs out on the other side. I'm running a gapless top ring, total seal gapless, and the pistons got line to line coating on the skirts. They got a barrier coating on top, and I'm eager to see what that's going to look like when I take it apart. I run about a barrel and a half of C16 on this F2 ProCharger setup. That's a little over 200 passes, 1/8 mile passes. And when I put this engine here in with this solid roller and all, that stopped all the street cruising and stuff. With that 468, even though I had 11 and a half to 1 compression, I could drive that car to where I was going to race on 93 octane, and then switch it over to C16 with that blower. And it worked real good. Other than it just, I don't know, it just the RPMs was messed up on it because of them springs. So you're running a big block Chevy and you want to turn a lot of RPM, make a lot of high RPM horsepower, you got to run a solid roller. That flat tappet and that stuff and that hydraulic roller, it will not work. I mean, you can go buy them short travel hydraulic rollers, I think, I don't know, they're not even worth the money. I think you still got to go in there and adjust them. You got to still keep them adjusted, because I think they only like move 9 thousandths or something like that. I don't know. Not familiar with them. I just I heard they wasn't worth the problem. Wasn't worth the trouble. Trying to throw that tile over them ports to keep them valve cover nuts from going down in there. I don't know why I didn't go grab some tape and just tape it up, but anyway. There's my little impact driver again. The valve springs that I'm running are mainly Next Tech. I can't remember the partner. I got the box and everything, but I've heard people talk bad about them. I heard people talk good about them. All I know is I ain't had a bit of problem out of them. And if the spring pressure is still good, I'm fixing to run these valve springs. I'm fixing to run them. It's got titanium retainers on it. When I first put them titanium retainers, when I got it running, it filled the whole top end of that motor full of metal, and it wasn't magnetized and all. And when I did some maintenance on it and everything, I looked in there, and the valve springs, I guess it had to break in and seat in and all. I didn't knock the sharp edges off the valve spring, and they cut into the retainer and just removed the metal that it needed to remove, and that was one thing I failed to check. I had never run that high spring pressure before, you know. I think this was my first solid roller cam. I've always on my small block Mopar and stuff, I run a flat tap mushroom cam, with mushroom lifters, I mean. And they wasn't. I don't remember what the spring pressure on them things was. I think on that deal right there, when springs got weak, I just shim them up. But every time can't remember about that part of it. But anyway, yeah, you get brand new valve springs, especially with them titanium retainers. You need to knock all the sharp edges off that valve spring up at the top and everything. And that's why I'm fixing to get new retainers and all. I'm going back with mild steel this time, because it ain't enough weight savings in there to justify that. Well, I don't know. If I knock the sharp edges off, I won't have that problem again. But I'm not. These retainers are done. They done got fatigued, and I put a lot of passes on these things. I'm gonna call Brodix or Crower, and I need to call both companies. I step up to a better set of heads and all. I want to make sure that whatever I put on these heads, the shaft mounted rockers, will fit on the future heads. And I got a stud girdle for the 049 heads, and I tried to put them on these heads, and it wouldn't fit. The stud girdle was too thick. The valves on these heads are a lot longer than the valves on the 049 heads. So them Jamar or what, I think a Jamar or whatever. They're the common stud girdle. I got them on the shelf back there. They won't fit. I have to I forget now which rocker was hitting them, but one of the rocker arms, either the exhaust or the intake. I think it was the intake, and I believe all I need to do to make that stud girdle fit is mill them. I just need to mill them down where I can, on the bottom, where I can still have enough threads left in there to tighten them up. I believe they'll work, but my best bet is just go ahead and put a shaft rocker in it, and I want to use some either billet steel or billet stainless steel. I don't want to go back with an aluminum rocker. You know, that's going to be, I don't know what, probably I don't know what the cost of them are. Probably over $2,000, but it'd be well worth it. At least I can use the things over and over again. But I want to make sure that they'll fit a bigger set of heads. You know, like I said, these heads should turn to 7,500 on that 502, and I should make a little bit more top end horsepower too, since I won't be able to turn the boost up. Oh, another thing on these heads, I'm gonna have to drill the bottoms for the extra head bolt bosses. They don't have a power hole, but they got a place, they got them marked under there. Got them counterbored a little bit, countersunk or whatever you want to call it. I think you got to drill them at a 10-degree angle and all. I'll get my use my brother's Bridgeport machine or knee mill. Set this thing up and drill and tap them things. Put me some metal inserts or whatever in there. I got a kit for that, bolt kit. I thought, I'm not sure. I can't put my hand on it. But anyway, I'll probably have to order another one. Gonna be interesting to see how this is gonna set up. Now, like I said, these heads here naturally aspirated. I think they would just 555 in that cam. They would turn to like 6,500, and just quit. But it's just pointless to rev it past 6,500. It just. I was running a 1050 CFM carburetor, and I think that's what my problem was. But I was running a 454R intake that was been ported a little bit, but I think my carburetor, I think it needed like a 1150 or maybe a 1250 carburetor. I was wanting to try it with that tunnel ram. The tunnel ram was a street tunnel ram. It was an oval port, so that was probably a waste of time anyway. But anyway, this motor will turn 7,200 RPM with that F2. That was with this cam here that I got. This is a Steve Morris cam. It's a smaller duration, smaller lift, and he told me this was the cam I needed, but all it would do was blow the head gaskets. The other cam, it was quicker with the other cam, and the other cam had less boost. But it would fly, it would turn 7,200 RPM also. And matter of fact, it would turn like 7,500. but I was overspinning that blower. I forget now what the max speed of that blower was, but I didn't have the right pulleys for it. Everything. So I mean, it's just one thing after another. It's just this has been this F2 ProCharger. It's been a learning experience and all. I mean, it's more convenient than nitrous. But I was breaking belts, and I got another video where I had put a boost controller on it, and I never did finish that. That worked real good. But like I said, my job schedule and everything and all, my time was limited. Anyway, I got a job closer to home, so that's why I've been able to post more videos and stuff, and everything. But just taking my time on this. Video's fixing to come to an end because I had to find a socket to fit them head bolts. I had a socket put up somewhere. During the move, when I moved, I just kind of misplaced everything, so I'm having to find stuff and all. But I got to get the header studs off so I can get to the lower head bolts. So anyway, I had a brain fart. I was thinking that for some reason or another, I thought the head nuts was a lot bigger than they are, and you'll see it there in a little bit. I'm looking for a socket right now for that 3/8 drive. If I'd have had a 12-point half-inch socket, long deep barrel, I'd have been all right. I may go buy one tomorrow somewhere if I can find it. My brother may have one. Yeah. Anyway, you'll see here in a minute. I found it. Yeah, the socket was too shallow. I had a short socket, wouldn't fit on there. So I take the big ratchet. It's got a 5/8 socket. I go put it on, and it don't work. You'll see. I don't even know what I was thinking. I'm trying to get it to work, and I'm like, uh-oh. So anyway, I'm gonna end the video here. I'll finish it up tomorrow. Y'all have a good day.